Hey guys, welcome back to another Chief Pep video. So today I had a really hard day at the workshop, the metal workshop. I've spent there all day together with Ab Reselman, who is fantastic because he's got all the tools and all the knowledge you need to pull things like this off. As you know, I needed to place the Virago rear wheel a little bit more to the left. I measured it, as you've seen in the other video. I thought it was about like 8 millimeters. I had to go to the left. I thought I measured correct. The thing is, we don't know how, and it doesn't really matter at all. We are not there yet completely. The wheel still is a little bit offset. I think it's about 3 millimeters, maybe 4. But that doesn't matter at all. I've always seen on Virago Tech Forum and so much other forums that a lot of people have a rear wheel which is not completely aligned with the front wheel. Somebody even mentioned that there were certain GS models of BMW which just come from the plant with an offset rear wheel, or a rear wheel which is not aligned. So I'm not bothered at all. To be honest, my previous my scrambler wasn't aligned also perfectly. Actually, I think it's exactly the same, still a little bit offset as my previous wheel, which I tried to align. You can't always win everything. Still, it was a pretty intense job. It's not a complex thing that needed to be done. The only thing is that you can imagine that putting a rear wheel in, for instance, the latte that we used, is really hard, because you really have to kind of rebuild the latte to make sure that the wheel will be in the latte. So let's look at a little bit of footage while I'll explain what we did. So first I'm going to show you what needs to be done, and then I'll edit in the thing that we did. Okay, let's start over. Let's start with that. So first of all, while I'm dismounting this rear wheel, the workshop, this is footage of the workshop, as you can see, of Reselman, the shop where I do all the work. As you can see, he's a really big motorcycle lover. He works on different projects, because obviously you can't live from only motorcycle projects. He also does boats and stuff like that. And he's got all these tools and a really great workshop to even be in. You can smell the metal as you walk there, and really great stuff that we can use. Okay, so now to the wheel. The first thing is, we needed, as you know, this hub is the same. This is the diversion hub, which fits in like that. You can see a ring here, and that ring sits on this bearing. I measured that the complete wheel needed to go a little bit down. So we needed to take 8 millimeters of this total thing, so it went down a little bit more in. So we had to pull out the bearings, and we did the same. And on this side there's also a bushing inside. I need to press in this a little bit more deep, because a new seal has to be here, but all the bearings will be new. These are my old bearings. But to make sure to make this 8 millimeters shorter, the wheel needed to go in a latte, which is pretty hard. So what we did first was make a big bush of 47 millimeters which fits in perfectly here, so that the wheel could spin and that we could precisely do our job while on this end with the latte. Because so that's what we first made. Then we could put in the wheel in the latte, and we could start using the file, or how do you call it, in the latte to make everything shorter. So this was the first thing we needed to do. The second thing that we needed to do was to make these guys a little bit shorter as well, because they sit in here. You have the rubbers which are here, and these rubbers are the dampers. So when you start putting power on this hub, that the wheel has some dampers, and these are these guys. So these had to be shorter as well. Plus, these had to be shorter as well. And this edge here also needed to be shorter. Once we've done this, the new bearings went in and everything, yeah, the whole thing kind of was finished. And then we could fit the whole thing in like this, and it looks like as if it's supposed to be like that. The only strange thing is, what we still don't get, is why the wheel is not completely centered as we hoped. And yeah, sometimes you just can't always have all the luck. Maybe I measured wrong, maybe we miscalculated on the latte, but if you can see, and let me angle the camera for you, for so far I haven't already showed you. Let me just dismount this cam. This is the situation now, and you can maybe you can remember the situation before and after. Before, this is the situation after, and I can perfectly live with this situation. Now, the only thing that needs to be done is put a disc on, and we have to make something for the caliper as well, and that will be on this one. So, okay, that was it for the rear wheel adventure that we had, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you, and please don't forget to subscribe. Bye.